You shouldn't be able to ride a bicycle across Utah's Great Salt Lake and not get wet. But that's unfortunately what University of Utah scientist Kevin Perry can do as he studies the lake's dried-out bottom, the water having dropped to its lowest level in recorded history in July, exposing 800 square miles of lake bed, an area larger than the Hawaiian island of Maui.
And this exposed lake bed, when the wind is strong and the lake bed is dry, it lifts dust off of this lake bed and pushes it into the surrounding communities.
And that is a big problem. The dust clouds are laced with calcium, sulfur, and arsenic, a naturally occurring element linked to cancer and birth defects. Parts of the exposed lake bed are also contaminated with residue from copper and silver mining.
If you breathe that dust over an extended period of time, like decades or longer, then it can lead to increases in different types of cancer, like lung cancer, bladder cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and such.
For years, water from Utah's Great Salt Lake has been diverted for human consumption, industry, and agriculture. That, combined with a 2-decade drought exacerbated by climate change, has heightened concerns that ecological and economic disaster could await the nearly 2 million people living near its receding shores. Already, the lake's millions of birds are suffering as the disappearing lake robs them of nourishment lower on the food chain. Alvin Sihapanya, a researcher at the Great Salt Lake Institute at Westminster College, displays what's known as a microbialite, essentially a living rock that is critical to sustaining many bird populations.
So attached on them are these brine fly pupae, and birds would dive down in the water to eat these guys for a food source. As this water line recedes, more of these microbialites are exposed, and we'll no longer have green, healthy microbialites. But instead, what we have there is this white, grayed out structures that don't have life growing on them.
Salt Lake City also depends on the lake economically through tourism, explains Utah State Representative Tim Hawks.
It's about $1.5 to $2 billion worth of economic activity, 7,000 jobs spread over 5 counties. Those are all really important.
With public awareness and pressure to act growing, Utah Governor Spencer Cox signed into law 11 bills related to water conservation and policy in the last legislative session. Among them is a bill that set up a $40 million trust for the lake, with a quarter of it dedicated to habitat restoration. Good news, hopefully, for this newly hatched American coot chick.